When prediction becomes prescription. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Predictive AI series. We live in a world that's increasingly obsessed with prediction. From weather forecasts to financial models, we've grown accustomed to systems that can forecast the future based on data patterns. But we've now crossed a threshold where prediction isn't just about anticipation, it's about prescription. The future is no longer just predicted, it's being prescribed. And what happens when the algorithms that forecast your behavior become the systems that dictate your actions? This is the dark side of predictive AI, not just knowing what you're going to do, but making sure you do it. Prediction becomes prescription when algorithms no longer merely anticipate your needs or desires, they shape them. The data collected about you is no longer just a reflection of your actions. It's a tool for controlling your next move. The world is increasingly filled with systems that don't wait for you to make a decision. They nudge, suggest, and sometimes force the decision they want you to make. You may have already felt it, the moment when something feels too timely, too perfect. That ad that showed up at just the right moment. That article that felt like it spoke directly to your thoughts. It wasn't a coincidence. It was the result of a sophisticated system that not only predicted your behavior, but designed your environment to encourage specific choices. These systems don't just observe you. They engineer your reality to make sure you take the next step, click the next link, buy the next item, or engage with the next idea. The problem arises when the system gets too accurate. When the system learns you better than you know yourself, your behavior becomes their prescription. Instead of a world of infinite choice, we are increasingly living in a world of finite, predicted options. And the worst part? We've been conditioned to accept it. Consider your smartphone, which likely knows more about you than your closest friends or family. It knows what time you wake up, what apps you check first, who you text, where you eat, how often you exercise, and even what mood you're in based on your facial expression or the language you use. With every click, every message, every scroll, the system refines its understanding of your personality, preferences, and habits. And it uses that data not just to predict what you'll do next, but to prescribe the content, products, and people that will engage you. You don't choose what you see. The system does. This is not an accident. It's a deliberate design. These algorithms are programmed to maximize your engagement, and in doing so, they've learned how to manipulate your desires, emotions, and actions. It's not just about convenience anymore. It's about influence. It's about control. Every time you give a recommendation, interact with an ad, or buy a product based on these suggestions, you are reinforcing the very system that shapes your behavior. This is the heart of predictive capitalism, the system that learns you not to serve you, but to predict and profit from you. And it's happening in every corner of our lives. From content recommendations on Netflix, to product suggestions on Amazon, to political ads tailored to match your emotional triggers, everything is being forecasted, programmed, and delivered based on algorithms that don't just predict your preferences, but push you towards specific choices. The algorithm doesn't just watch your behavior, it shapes it. And this doesn't stop at consumer behavior. The predictive models don't just read your desires, they shape your decisions, opinions, and emotions in ways that benefit those in power. Take, for example, political ads. With the help of predictive AI, campaigns can target you based on your personality traits, your emotional vulnerabilities, your browsing history, and even your social interactions. They don't just try to influence how you vote, they predict exactly how you will react to specific messages. They craft ads and narratives that hit at the right time, using the right emotional triggers, and they know just when you'll be most susceptible to influence. Your choices are no longer your own. They are carefully guided by external forces using predictive models designed to nudge you in a particular direction. What happens when prediction becomes prescription is that the algorithm takes over the very essence of choice. In a world where your every move is forecasted, where every suggestion is perfectly timed, where every ad feels personal and intimate, what room is left for spontaneity? What happens when you no longer make decisions based on your own interests or curiosity, but because you're following a path that has been carefully laid out for you? This shift from prediction to prescription has profound consequences. It changes the way we think about free will and personal agency. When our choices are no longer ours to make, but are subtly engineered by algorithms and artificial intelligence, what does it mean to truly be free? How can we claim autonomy when our desires are constantly being molded and shaped by forces we don't even see? The answer is simple. We must reclaim our ability to choose. We must become aware of the systems that are shaping our decisions, and we must actively resist the pressure to conform to the patterns they're trying to build. This is not just about rejecting technology. It's about rejecting the idea that we are nothing more than data points to be manipulated for profit. It's about reclaiming our humanity in a world that is increasingly trying to reduce us to algorithms. One way to resist the prescription of behavior is to disrupt your own patterns. Take a break from the algorithm. Stop scrolling mindlessly. Stop letting the system tell you what to want. Instead, take conscious control over your choices. Seek out content that isn't recommended to you. Follow accounts that challenge your worldview. Disrupt the feedback loop. Don't allow the system to define your interests for you. Another way to fight back is to demand transparency from the companies that are collecting and using your data. If these systems are going to be used to predict and influence our behavior, we must know how they work. We need to understand what data is being collected, how it's being used, and who it's being shared with. And we need to be able to opt out. We need to reclaim control over our personal data and ensure that our decisions are still ours to make. But perhaps the most important thing we can do is to reject the idea that prediction is destiny. Just because the system knows what we might do doesn't mean it knows what we will do. Choice is the foundation of freedom, and we must fight to preserve that freedom by resisting the urge to follow the system's suggestions. We must remind ourselves that we are not our data. We are not our predicted future. We are human beings with the ability to act outside the algorithm, to think for ourselves, and to live a life that isn't pre-programmed for us. In a world where prediction becomes prescription, we must remember that the future is not set by algorithms. It's set by us. And if we want a future where we are still free to choose, to think, and to live outside the system's grip, then it's up to us to push back. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.